Breaking. This is the moment fans say Jungkook's heart was pushed too far. Not by haters, not by random noise online, but by a name that kept being repeated over and over, even when it didn't match his actions, his emotions, or what fans believe he was truly trying to protect. Across US timelines, one feeling dominates right now. Jungkook looked hurt, and fans think they finally understand why. For a long time, the term Taekook followed Jungkook everywhere. In comments, in edits, in live chats, and in fan discussions. That label was constantly attached to him. Some people brushed it off as playful shipping, but many Jikook fans believe Jungkook never saw it that way. They believe he felt misunderstood, boxed into a narrative he never chose. Fans began noticing subtle signs. Jungkook's smile would fade when certain comments appeared. His energy would shift. Sometimes he would go quiet. Other times he would laugh it off, but his eyes didn't match the smile. To many viewers, especially longtime fans in the US, those moments didn't look like comfort. They looked like someone trying to not show pain. What made this even heavier is what fans believe came next. They say Jungkook started becoming more careful, more guarded, more aware of how his actions could be misinterpreted, not because he was confused about his feelings, but because he didn't want to hurt the one person who mattered most to him. And that person, fans insist, is Jimin. Jikook fans point out that Jungkook's behavior around Jimin has always been different. Not louder, not exaggerated, just real. When Jungkook is near Jimin, fans say his instincts take over. He leans closer, he watches Jimin's reactions, he adjusts his tone. These are not moments that look planned, they look natural, almost automatic. This is where many fans believe Jungkook's emotional conflict became visible. On one side, the fandom kept pushing a narrative he didn't want. On the other side, there was Jimin, someone fans believe Jungkook deeply cares about, emotionally and romantically. According to fans, Jungkook started realizing that every time the Taekook label trended, Jimin was the one who got hurt quietly. Fans began connecting dots from old footage. Jimin looking away, Jimin going silent, Jimin smiling but not fully. To many, these weren't random moods. They looked like jealousy mixed with sadness, and fans believe Jungkook noticed it too. That realization, according to Jikook supporters, changed everything. They believe Jungkook didn't want to make Jimin feel insecure again. He didn't want Jimin to question his place. And more than that, he didn't want Jimin to feel like he was being replaced by a story Jungkook never agreed to tell. Fans say this explains why Jungkook started pulling away from situations that could be misread, why he became more intentional with his words, why he seemed emotionally affected whenever Taekook was brought up. To them, this wasn't about fan wars, it was about protecting someone he loves. US fans especially emphasize one thing: Jungkook has never looked confused about Jimin. They point out moments where Jungkook openly prioritizes Jimin's comfort, moments where he checks on him first, moments where his attention naturally goes back to Jimin even in group settings. Fans argue that if Jungkook truly wanted the Taekook narrative, his actions would look very different. Instead, they see restraint. And restraint, they say, often comes from fear of hurting someone important. There's also the emotional weight fans attach to Jungkook's expressions. When Taekook edits trend, fans say Jungkook looks tired. Not angry, not playful, just worn down, as if being misunderstood again and again slowly chipped away at him. Meanwhile, when Jungkook is with Jimin, fans say there's relief in his face. His shoulders relax, his laughter sounds real. To many, that contrast speaks louder than any statement could. This is why Jikook fans believe Jungkook was deeply hurt, not because of Taeyoung himself, but because of what the Taekook label represented, a denial of his real feelings, a narrative that ignored the person he was trying to protect. Fans also believe Jungkook understands the power of fandom narratives. He knows words spread fast, he knows labels stick, and he knows that once something is repeated enough, it can start to feel real to the people involved, even if it isn't. That's why, according to fans, Jungkook became more careful than ever. Not colder, just intentional. And in that intention, fans say the truth becomes clearer. They believe Jungkook chose Jimin again and again, not loudly, but consistently, through small gestures, through body language, through emotional awareness, through the way he reacts when Jimin is near versus when rumors are mentioned. To Jikook fans in the US, this isn't about fantasy, it's about patterns. Patterns of comfort, patterns of care, patterns of protection, and protection is the key word fans keep repeating. They believe Jungkook is protecting Jimin's heart, protecting his own feelings, and protecting a bond that feels too real to be treated like a joke or a trend. As the conversation continues online, emotions remain intense. Fans are still dissecting clips, reactions, and moments that suddenly feel heavier in context. Many say they can't unsee the pain in Jungkook's eyes anymore. Others say this finally explains why Jungkook has seemed emotionally distant at times. But one thing is clear in the fandom right now. For Jikook fans, this story isn't over yet. And this is where everything comes together for Jikook fans. When fans look at the full picture, they don't see confusion. They don't see Jungkook being torn between narratives. They see someone who was hurt because his real feelings were constantly ignored. They see someone who stayed quiet, not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. For Jikook supporters, Jungkook's pain makes sense. Being linked again and again to a romantic label he didn't choose, while the person he truly cared about watched from the sideline, would hurt anyone. Fans believe Jungkook felt that weight, and, more importantly, they believe he decided he would never let Jimin feel that kind of insecurity again. That's why, to them, Jungkook's actions feel louder than words. They see a man who became more cautious, not distant, more protective, not cold, someone who started thinking twice before every reaction, every smile, every moment that could be twisted into a story he didn't agree to. And behind all that caution, fans see one clear motivation: Jimin. Jikook fans believe Jungkook's heart has always gone in one direction, even when rumors got loud, even when labels trended, even when the fandom tried to rewrite his story for him. According to them, Jungkook's emotional center never moved. And that's why so many fans say this situation didn't weaken Jikook, it strengthened it. They believe Jungkook choosing not to fuel jealousy, choosing to protect Jimin's feelings, and choosing emotional awareness over fan service is proof of something real. Not loud love, not performative love, but quiet, consistent love. For fans in the US, this is why the phrase "Jikook is real" isn't just about shipping, it's about emotional logic, about patterns that don't disappear over time, about two people whose connection survives pressure, rumors, and misunderstandings. And now, as more fans start noticing these details, the conversation is shifting. People are asking different questions, not who is Jungkook shipped with, but who does Jungkook protect? Not what trend is popular, but whose feelings matter to him the most. For Jikook fans, the answers feel obvious. If you've been watching closely, you probably feel it too. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think Jungkook was genuinely hurt by the Taekook narrative? Do you believe his actions show he's protecting Jimin's heart? And do you agree that everything points to one truth: Jikook is real? Comment your thoughts, share this video with fellow Jikook fans in the US, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Because this story isn't just about rumors, it's about feelings that never lied.